All right. Well, Steve, first off, welcome to Montana.
Thank you.
Fantastic to have you here. I know you have a lot of fans here and all different spots. Like you said, it's been almost 6 years since the show ended, but boy, it continues to have just a life of its own, doesn't it? Did you ever expect that when you guys wrapped the production?
Oh my gosh, I mean, the whole thing's been a surprise. It was supposed to be a summer job in 1990, so I mean, we lasted 15 years, and actually I ended the show because I didn't know how to make it any better. That was me trying, by the way, what you saw there. So yeah, I retired and I wasn't doing anything, and I thought it would, but it turns out Possum Lodge was just pretending to be dead, so it really was, the whole project was a possum. Then I got a chance to write a book, and I thought, well, if I say no, they probably won't ask again. So I really enjoyed that, writing the book, and then that led to a one-man show, and here we are.
Tell me about, you know, just reflecting back on the show for a while, I was always amazed watching those Handyman Corner segments, how you guys came up with those ideas for those different devices. Were you using some of your engineering background there, or was it just getting together and coming up with a crazy idea?
Well, you know, I had a team of writers. I was the head writer, but I had a team that needed a special kind of talent. You can't just be a writer. You have to have a mechanical ability, and have actually had to do something in your life rather than just sit in front of a computer. So, I mean, I have a kind of a mechanical background. I took some engineering, and I was always putting the wrong engine in the wrong car and all that stuff. And I think a lot of the guys who are out there that are doing that for a living, when they watch the show, they can tell that we know enough, you know, to be dangerous. And then we, with a comedic mind, you turn things upside down. So suddenly a clothes dryer makes a great popcorn maker. So, you know, that's the way we twist it.
Did you ever get hurt? I mean, I know a lot was in the editing, but some of those, you look a little surprised sometimes when things happen.
Yeah, you know, I can honestly say that luckily, you know, we never really did have any serious. You have the odd little bump or bruise or something, but we had a pretty good crew, and we had a pretty good sense of it, and I never really did anything that I thought was incredibly dangerous. There were some ones where I wondered about later, but we couldn't afford stuntmen, so we just did it ourselves.
That's great. Do you ever keep in touch with the old cast, with Patrick or Rick or any of the others? You talk to them from time to time and see what they've been up to, or do you guys keep in touch?
Well, you know, Pat and Rick, I hear from through email quite a bit, and Jeff Lumby, who played Winston Rothschild, the septic sucking guy, he and I keep in touch. The others they're working actors, and they're all over the place doing movies and TV shows, so I really don't see them much.
What was the most rewarding thing of doing that show, and especially doing it for that long?
You know, I've been very fortunate. My wife and I decided a long time ago that we were going to find something we enjoyed to do and work hard at making a living at it, rather than find some way to make a living and work hard at enjoying it. And I've been very fortunate in that, with the Red Green Show especially. It was just really a pleasure to do it, and we all made a living at it. I mean, it was fantastic. Let's
talk about what the current things. One of the things I found interesting in the old show, you know, you referred about, oh, you were putting, you know, Harold was putting on this show, and you made references to her website. One of the first shows I remember doing that, actually. Now we have the web, and you have YouTube, and you have iLaugh.com, and I mean, has that helped to continue the life of the show?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I think especially after I retired, and friends of mine were showing me a clip that somebody forwarded them from England of me doing something. So I mean, YouTube has been a huge promotional benefit to the show. It really widened and kept us alive when maybe the show would have died otherwise. So yeah.
Tell me about the books, too, and this new book, you know, How to Do Everything.
Yeah.
We see a lot of self-help books, but it sounds like this is the all-encompassing book that every man and even woman out there should have.
Well, you know, I have a short attention span, so I wanted to write a book where I could just write about anything I thought of that day. So I would, you know, generate a lot of stuff. Got everything in it, handyman tips and advice on marriage and parenting and how to get a job and how not to get too serious at your job. It's just, I was really happy with the book. I thought it turned out really well, and the sales have been good, and I might do another one, who knows.
I'm curious, in these shows, do people come up and offer their own tips or advice to include in the next book or the next go-around?
Oh yeah, people send me stuff, and they'll bring me stuff to show me. There was one on YouTube where I had taken a toilet plunger and used it as a drink holder. You just stick the thing in the ground. It's just very simple. Well, guys bring them up, and they've got nameplates in brass on their toilet plunger, and they want me to autograph it. So yeah, people relate.
That's amazing. And this relationship with PBS, I know that, you know, having lived in distance of Canadian television, we were always accustomed to the show and loved it, but PBS has been a great partner, haven't they, in terms of keeping the life going, and that seems to have a lot of value on both sides.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I decided after year 2 that I really wanted to see the audience as the boss. I thought the show would not probably get a huge audience because it was odd. I always say the show's like the flu, not everybody gets it. But with PBS, you get the opportunity. If you can build a strong, loyal following who are willing to sit through those begathons and write a check, you can keep a show on the air. All they have to do is care. And if they don't care, the show shouldn't be on there. So I was perfectly comfortable with that too. So that worked out as a good partnership.
I got to ask you one question too. As all of us get older and we age and those kind of things, I always think of that catchphrase you had. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
Has that kind of continued to be a theme as you've related to the fans and as everybody looks at this advice and looks at these jokes over the years?
Oh yeah, for sure. That has become a theme. In fact, I've gone all over the country with this one-man show, and I keep basically meeting the same guy everywhere I go, and he really appreciates the fact that I'm speaking for him, because not a lot of television shows speak for that guy. It's usually a woman in her early 20s is really what TV's all about these days. So us old guys get a chance with me.
And it really makes a difference too, I think, when you have that commonality of experience. I mean, even though a lot of your show had that feel of Canada and maybe the Northwoods and things, there's a universal aspect of this thing that fits all of North America.
Yeah, that's the part I didn't realize when we were doing it. We were just doing something that we thought was funny, and then we found out that a lot of people feel the same way, have the same experiences. So it really it bonded us.
Give us a piece of advice as read. What here we are. It's spring of 2011, and a lot of issues and stuff out there. The economy's maybe not doing that well, but is there anything in particular that you could pass on?
There's a piece of advice that's going to work for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years from now. Okay, if your wife is having fun and you're not, you're still having way more fun than when you're having fun and she's not.